Now, is it possible to block dates on the calendar on your Jira cloud project? Now, this was actually one of the question asked on the community today about blocking dates in calendar or timeline. Now, let me read the question. The question is, of course, very straightforward and simple. Answer may not be that simple, but I think it is an interesting question, and I believe a lot of people want to do something similar. And I'll talk about the possibilities. So this question, this question is from David, and David is asking: is there a way to add block dates for the project or task, and is configurable to apply to individual tasks? The second point is, and that is actually important here, when block dates are applied. So the first point is talking about like blocking some days, maybe few days in a month or week, whatever, something to do on the calendar. Maybe you don't really want to work on those dates, or maybe you want to specify the individual capacities of people who will be working on it, whatever. So the second point is that when block dates are applied, the target end date can be shifted automatically. Now, this is of course not really a feature out of the box in Jira. In Jira, of course, you can do something like a timeline, but you don't really have an option uh, to block dates on a calendar. You can do something. I mean, there was this feature of individual capacities and non-working days when you were using, let us say, the old life plan and portfolio, but not really in the new version of new improved interface. However, if you're using individual boards, then you do have those non-working days that can be potentially used. But of course, Jira won't really stop you from allocating work on those non-working days. Of course, it is not really. So if you want to block dates, it may not be limited to just weekends. There are of course some possibilities, and Brand has already responded to this question about. So he's basically saying that if you want to do something similar, you can't do it, but there's a feature request. At the same time, there are apps like Big Picture that can do it. So definitely using a Big Picture, I believe you can do a lot of wonderful things. What I also wanted to talk about is Tempo Planner. I don't really remember if I did a lot of videos. Maybe I have done a few videos on Tempo, but it is something that I never really did a lot. So using Tempo Planner, so Tempo has a few good apps. I mean, they have a lot of apps, but Tempo is known for Tempo timesheets. But at the same time, Tempo Planner is also another app that you can think of using. So basically, using Tempo Planner, you can actually plan the work on a calendar. So you will get something like this, like a view, where you can see all the resources on your left hand side in the first column, and of course you have the timeline. So you can of course do resource planning on a calendar. Like you can specify that you want Bob to work on a specific activity on 1st of May or whatever. So this is something that is quite interesting uh, and useful. You have the option to basically look at the availabilities, and it will let you do a lot of other things, and it works really well along with the timesheets. Timesheets is of course something that you can use if you want people to submit time along with of course planning the work, because when you plan the work, it is of course for planning. You want to know when the person will be doing things, but at the same time, when people actually start filling in their timesheets, then you can do a comparison of planned and actual work. But if you want to block dates on the calendar, you don't really have any out of the box feature, but you can still do things like, in my opinion, use the standard roadmaps that you have in Jira, because you have the concept of start date and end date, and you can plan the work. So you can still do it manually, but not really. I mean, there is no way to tell Jira that okay, please don't allocate any work on these dates for my team. So you need to definitely use or evaluate few apps like Big Picture or maybe Tempo Planner. And that is all I wanted to talk about in this video. I thought I'll probably also share these things because my job as a consultant is also basically helping people with similar questions. And the decision that you make today, because when people start using Jira, or when they're thinking of using Jira, they want to do a lot of things uh, in one go. Jira has a lot of advantages, but I think you need to know what are the features that you get out of the box, what all you can do really well in Jira, what all things you can do uh, even better with the help of some apps. And that is what I'm trying to do today by giving you this simple example of blocking time, which is not really a feature in Jira, but you might be able to look at, you might be able to achieve using few apps. And that is all I wanted to talk about. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new today. Thank you very much.